All right, and welcome to another video. I'm Brett Papa, and today we got freaking Robert Keeley in the house.
All right, folks.
The man, the myth. That was not a stoked representation of yourself. Let's try that again. We got Robert Keeley in the house.
Man, I am glad to be here,
Yes,
Brett Papa.
yes, that's what I'm looking for. All right, that's better. We got.
It's always nice being here.
Oh, well, it's always nice that you guys want to come over.
I love it.
Appreciate it. I'm like, yes.
This is a very comfy place.
And they're like hometown locals. We're all from Edmond, Oklahoma. Yes. Okay, so today you've brought a smattering of new things. I've got some experience with this Noble Screamer, which is freaking amazing. If you guys haven't tried that pedal, do yourself a favor. But these other...
Yep, this is going to bring out the rest of the 4-in-1 series. So
with one caveat though, before you get started.
Please.
I've done a lot of these videos and Andy Timmons is going to be here. You're not going to get guitar playing like that. Okay, go. You'll get a true representation of what the pedals really sound like.
These are for mere mortals, right?
Exactly, right. This is what a common man is going to sound like playing the pedals. Okay, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me.
So, like with the Noble Screamer, that started the concept of, putting two drives in a pedal and allowing you to mix and match the tone in the drive section for the ODR and the Tube Screamer in that case. But now I get to bring the rest of the 4-in-1 series here.
Yes.
And I take two distortions or drives, strategically planned classic pedal sounds.
Right.
And then allow you to mix and match them so you get two hybrid modes and you get two sounds you've never heard before. And they can give you fun EQs, they can give you fun gain stage sounds, stacking sounds. And you can do quite a bit of fun stuff with them, especially when you start putting two of the 4-in-1 series together.
So in reality, we have 12 pedals here.
Man, I think we have
16
16
times. What?
I think we have 16. There's 8 classic sounds.
Okay.
If you got the switches up and you got the switches down.
Okay.
2 classic sounds times 4, 8.
Oh my God.
And then 8 hybrids.
Oh, that's right.
16 sounds.
Holy smokes.
This is our 16-in-1.
Deal maker.
Deal maker.
All right, here we go. So give me the rundown.
So let's start with the Blues Disorder here. The Blues Disorder combines the classic blues breaker sound
love that.
and the OCD. So you've got this kind of natural soft...
What version?
1.7, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, all right.
For the fact checkers out there, I think I'm right.
Like, was it version 4.3?
It is 4.3 and a half.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
So... Yep, we compared it to a variety of those things, and I found that one was going to be our home base in terms of what we wanted the whole pedal to sound like, and then we took a King of Tone. Ooh. And we listened to a bunch of those. I got 3 of those at my shop, and listened to a bunch of Morning Glories. And
you actually get one right away too.
You should.
No, I mean like King of Tone. It takes you like 9 years to get one.
That's right. Yeah, it's instantly compared to a long waiting list. You're right. So that's what this one is. Okay. The Super Rodent is really cool too because it takes the Boss SD1,
I love that
which is kind of like their hot rodded Tube Screamer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a full drive too, in a sense too. And then we combined it with Michigan's famous Proco Rat.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So we took. So that gives you some really interesting combinations we'll get back to.
Okay.
Lastly is the Angry Orange. The Angry Orange is really fun because we took a Civil War Big Muff.
Wow, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And we mixed it with a Boss DS1 Wazacraft.
Another great pedal.
Yeah.
Love the old Boss stuff.
Not too many people doing the DS1 in a boutique type of thing, and then a Civil War Big Muff. Put those two together and you get some really fun things because they happen to have a similar type tone control. Okay. The layout. They don't sound the same. Muff. Yeah.
Sweet.
Exactly.
All right.
So that's kind of how it starts. So we can start to listen to these, but essentially with this one, it's the SD1 and the Rat.
Okay.
The Blues Disorder is like a King of Tone, a blues breaker, and the OCD. Okay. Civil War Big Muff, and a Boss DS1 Waza.
All right, so we're going to go through my JTM 45 Studio amp here into an aux with a 412 cab simulation. It's going to sound like this. I always like doing a little bit of gain on stuff. All the demos I ever hear are always like totally clean, and I'm just not that guy.
Man, I like that you're doing that. Yeah. That really does provide a difference, and a lot of people do run their amp with a little bit of gain on it. So this is going to be
a muff going. You got to have a little dirt on your muff. Okay, so what are we starting with?
Okay, let's take this blues disorder here.
Okay.
I think this one's going to be great. So we're going to start with the BB mode here, and we'll just have a. Now these are famous for kind of their low sounds. It sounds great, doesn't it? So low gain sounds. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we can go to the OCD mode. Go back and forth.
Okay.
That's the blues breaker.
I like that one.
Yep. That's great.
Sounds freaking awesome.
Great. Yep.
Good for you.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Cool.
And then, what happens when you...
Yeah, let's check this out. So what's really interesting is the blues breaker's got this great clipping sound. It's a soft clipping, and you definitely liked it. It blends well with your amp too. So what we can do is we can take the OC tone control, which has this huge mid-range push in it. So here's our blues breaker sound. Yep. Now if we wanted to push up the mids.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So it's so pushed, it has a little bit of gain to it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's killer.
Oh, that sounds great.
That's one of my favorite hybrid modes.
Cleans up good too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of the blues breaker. Yep.
That's good for your country gig right there, boy.
Yeah.
Don't you have to know that lick?
You do guys know that
one right there. All right, that's amazing. Okay.
That's fun.
So blues breaker and
Yep.
what's the other one?
OCD.
OCD.
Yep.
OCDs are great with with like AC30 kind of formats. I remember when I was playing like an EL84 amp, the OCD really like speaks through those kind of sounds too. So
sure does. That's a great combination.
Yeah. All right. Yep. So what's next?
Next up, let's do this Super Rodent. The Super Rodent's fun because again, it's the SD1, so it's a tube screamer type of circuit. Except they use a little bit of asymmetrical clipping in there, and it's a little bit beefed up. So it's kind of a hot rodded tube screamer, if you will.
So let's do our G here.
Yep.
Okay.
Isn't that killer? That's a great sound.
Sweep the tone a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Next up is we go put both switches down, and that happens to be the Rat. There you go. In that case, it's the typical Rat tone control, except we flip the taper around on the filter control.
Okay.
So that when you turn it up, it gets brighter instead of turning the filter down. On those classic Rats, they have that backwards tone control.
Okay.
Yeah. So we reversed the taper so that it was in line with like the SD1, so that our concept of making hybrid modes works. And you know what I mean? It would be kind of funny.
If you switch around, you're like, wait, the pedal that's not doing what it's supposed to do. Okay.
Yeah. So this one provides a really cool one. The Rat has got a hard clipping sound, but it's got a very simple passive filter control.
What would hard clipping be?
Hard clipping is when, technically, is like when the diodes that are used to create the distortion go to a fixed point, usually the ground. Okay. And that creates a very definitive edge on the sound, and it usually provides a harder gain.
Okay.
If you're below that threshold, though, it can be remarkably clean.
Oh,
so sometimes, like in the case of this ODR, in the case of the OCD, and in the case of the DS1, those are the hard clippers.
Okay.
And they can, if you're on low gain settings, they can be kind of transparent, and but then when it gets the edge, when those diodes are connected to ground, hard clipping, it provides that typical high gain sound that we're quite used to.
Nice.
Now a soft clipping is something like the Tube Screamer.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Or this SD1 is a soft clipping thing too.
Okay, and that's more overdrive sounds.
Yeah, definitely. Much more rounded edges instead of a very hard transition clipping.
Oh, got it.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep. Very smooth sounding. So, what's cool though is that the Rat, it is very beefy.
It's like one of those like. Good stuff.
But even with all that beef, sometimes people are like, "Hey, I need a Rat pedal with a little more girth on it."
Okay.
And so, when you move to the SD1's active tone control, get that little
nice.
bit.
It's like it has a woof to it.
Yeah. That's fun. Exactly.
Nice.
So
should use the other guitar for that one.
Man, it depends on if you're wanting something to sit in the mix a little different. Maybe you need to carry more of the low end, so you can go to that tone control and get that different sound. It's really fun. Yep. Yep.
God, that sounds
Killer sound.
great.
Killer sound.
All right.
Next up is the Angry Orange. Angry Orange is a lot of fun, man.
Okay.
So we took a classic, we took the classic Civil War muff. I found one of these, actually mine is blue and gray too, funny enough. And so we took that classic kind of Gilmore type of muff.
Is that what's associated with the Civil War?
I've seen the Soviet big muffs and the Civil War big muffs frequently written up that he was using that in the combination with other amplifiers and stuff like that. So it was one of the better muffs that we had, because I have all kinds of big muffs. Mike reissued all the muffs, and so we had a Ram's Head, and we had op amp one, and I was like, those are all sound great, and they all got their place, but I want to do something a little bit fun and unique.
Okay.
And so I searched and searched until I found a really rare looking Civil War big muff.
Sure.
And got it in, and sure enough, we were listening to it and we're like, this thing is pretty magical.
Yeah.
This thing is pretty fun.
Okay.
And then when we were working on the DS1, there's so many different DS1s. There's some from the mid 2000s that might not sound that hot. They're a little thinner. There's ones from the early days in Japan that if you put 12, 13 volts to them, they sound amazing.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they take the old ASA power supply. So we had a ton of DS1s to listen to, but I thought, man, I really wonder what's going on with the Wazacraft one. We got one of those in, and it sounded amazing. It was like, I think it was like the best DS1 of them all.
Sure. Yeah, they've figured out all that stuff.
Yeah, so it's got a much different design, and that allowed me to get kind of creative with this one because I wanted to compare to that DS1 Wazacraft sound, and I wanted this muff, the Civil War thing, to kind of blend together. So I got to play with the classic DS1 circuit to get it to sound more like the DS1 Wazacraft. So
nice.
I'm pretty happy with this. So let's listen to the muff first. Yeah. Right? Yeah, real nice, huh? Exactly. That's a killer sound. That's a killer sound.
That's awesome.
Here's our DS1. Now this is, yeah.
Listen to that. Like,
there's a reason why the DS1 is one of the most popular pedals of all time.
People that used to knock that thing, and I'm like, for $50, like,
you can't go wrong.
What's wrong?
I remember when they were $39.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Maybe they were even $34.
Yeah, exactly.
So then we can get some really fun stuff. So we're going to go back to the Big Muff. And what's interesting is the Big Muff and the DS1 have a very similar type tone control. The layout of the components, the resistors and capacitors is very similar, but they're tuned to different frequencies. So what ends up happening with the tone control on this one, most of the other pedals have drastically different tone controls from each other. So this one was kind of an interesting one in that they were kind of similar topology. So we move around the mid-range cut or the scoop that happens in both of these type tone controls. So we can listen to that. So here's a classic muff. That was actually the hybrid mode. And then here's we go back to the classic muff. Yep.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Dude,
you can just.
Oh, that's a good, like hollow. Go back to what you had.
Yeah.
Go back. Where
Go back. I'm back.
Yeah. Dude, that.
Isn't that great?
God bless you.
I love your playing, dude. You make it sound great. I'm like, yeah, I mean that.
You know, it's like a classic sound, but like a new spin on it. You know, what's cool is it, big muffs are great, but like, if you've ever played with another person in a band, it's like, where did it go?
Yeah, where did I go?
Yeah, and I like it because you can kind of.
When we went to the muff, it sure does kind of disappear because of that frequency response it has, and that's where the DS1 shines. Yeah, it's kind of got that very bold. I like that hollow sound that you had coming out of it too.
Listen, you get that stroke. That sounds freaking great, dude.
That sounds killer.
These are freaking great, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you can start stacking them. You had a hybrid mode over here with the OD drive into the Tube Screamer tone control, and then we were running the Blues Breaker.
Freaking rocking.
Yes,
because I had to stack.
We were making very happy sounds.
Very happy. I forget how that song goes. Something like that. All right, God, that sounds great. Can't do that in this town. Every once in a while, you gotta bust out. People are like, boo! All right. Yeah,
those are killer sounds.
Great. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. That just sounds really
it's
vicious.
Maybe. Man, one of the things we learned with this is stacking the gain stages creates so much color.
That's where all the happy place lives.
That's where the happy place lives. Yeah. And so these things sound good together, work great together. You know what I mean? So it's
that one sounds great, dude. It's like just a good natural.
Yeah, this is a great just natural thing right here, just with the low gain. Yeah.
With my extremely hot pickup I got going on here. Hold on, let's go back to low and slow.
See?
Yeah, that's like a great classic rock.
Just a nice, great low gain sound.
What's it sound like when you...
Oh, yeah, it sounds great.
I like it, you know, all of them have, even the muff, it has like a really good string definition still. Like that's my test, like this chord, like if it all like kind of goes together but stays separate at the same time, like that. Like you can still hear that. And that's like the pedal pretty maxed out as far as drive goes. Or close.
Yeah.
Close enough for rock and roll, as they say.
It is a killer thing. I think that all of these incorporate our kind of our magic secret ingredient, our JFET buffer system.
Gesundheit.
Yes, exactly.
What'd you call it?
I'll get a clean.
Fighting words, boy. So your secret JFET.
I don't even know what I was talking about anymore.
Flux capacitor.
Flux capacitor. We use a flux capacitor, a four-way flux capacitor
flux, exactly.
in all of these. No, but I think it has a lot to do with it, man. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that all these pedals are 18 volts capable.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I've been,
what does that do when you kick it up to 18 volts?
That's a great question, because a lot of people do ask that, and sometimes people are like, what does higher headroom mean in a distortion pedal?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
But it actually can make a couple interesting differences. The first thing is I'm thinking about keyboard players and active bass players that might use our pedals in buffered mode or in a variety of modes. And when you put 18 volts to it, then I can handle anybody's preamp pedal.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
An 18 volt active system, and it's not going to overload the circuits and cause unwanted distortions. Not that some distortions are actually bad sounding and not meant to happen.
Okay.
And that's what can happen. I can alleviate some of those things if we put and design the whole pedal to be working at 18 volts. That's just one thing.
So is it kind of like in an amp where you have more distance between like clean and really overdriven?
Yeah. And then in the other case, a good example is this OCD type of circuit there. A lot of that sound, that high gain sound, is op amp clipping. But if you take the power supply to those op amps and you put it at 18 volts instead of 9, then it's not going to clip as much, and you have a nice clearer sound with less unwanted distortions. The problem is those op amp clipping can actually sound good and give you a lot of gain.
Okay.
So it's a little trade-off. I noticed that people playing with this, a variety of these pedals, you know what I mean, are noticed, hey, I'll take the Muse driver at 18 volts, Andy's new pedal, you know? And he's like, that sounds great to me.
Sure.
I think it has a lot to do with those little subtle things.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So when people say the headroom is improved, it's just a little bit. It's to prevent certain unwanted distortions from happening. Yeah. And then in the case of ours, we can have active basses and keyboards with pro audio line levels going to these things, even when they're in buffered mode, and our buffer just handles it just perfect. So there's kind of a practical reason for 18 volts.
Yeah.
If you're a gear hound and you want to,
and you have all the switches
extract the most tone from your system.
Right, exactly. Well, these are freaking awesome. You guys, I've messed a lot with the Noble Screamer. And, obviously being here in Nashville, we've heard every, awesome Nobles pedal ever. And we had all of them over here, and that thing dead ringered all of those pedals. But just using it in the hybrid modes, that's a really fun thing to do with all of these pedals, is to just, it's great to have something that dead ringers another pedal and does it really well, but then to get those in-between sounds is really what I really like and almost prefer to in a way to what these pedals can do, because it's all those kind of new sounds that you can really play with.
They can be really fun.
Yeah, but they're really amazing pedals. I got a bunch of them here at the house, and they're super solid, and the guys that around town that use them in the Hydra and the Halo have been making the rounds here in town.
Man, that was wonderful when we came by here the last time and we showed that off, and that Hydra has really taken off for us.
The Hydra. Do yourself a favor. Obviously get one of these new ones, but you've got to pair it with a Hydra. That is one of the greatest pedals I've ever heard. The tremolo on it is just freaking amazing.
It is.
And then when you put it in stereo,
then it's heavenly.
God. Well, thank you once again for coming by. I always love it when you guys are coming by. Justin Ostrander, we got a course coming out with him, and he used this blues. What's it called?
Blues Disorder.
Blues Disorder on the course, and it just freaking sounded awesome. Yep. So they're already being used in sessions.
Good, Justin.
All right. Thank you very, very much for your continued support. Check out all the links below. I'll leave the links to their pedals in their shop down below. They have an amazing place in Edmond, Oklahoma. So if you're ever in the hood,
come by, visit me.
Yeah, play the Led Zeppelin pinball machine.
That's right.
It's amazing. All right. We'll catch you next time.